Friday, October 6th, and it is so good to have you back. Thank you for joining us here on Damon Bruce Plus. Oh my goodness, so many happy people already chatting with each other, getting along with each other, saying good morning to each other. Love it. Absolutely love it. Got a little throat thingy going on. I think the kids brought home something a little spilkissy. It's the wrong time. Wrong time for me to be getting the spilkiss. We got Fleet Week. We've already achieved some maximum football.
Maximum
I mean, even more is going to be coming our way with a really interesting weekend of college ball, a really interesting weekend in the NFL, of course, punctuated by our chief interest, that is 49ers and Cowboys on Sunday night. But man, we got some interesting stuff coming up here. And I want to get into, just the mechanics of how you go about beating the Dallas Cowboys today. By the way, Larry Krueger and I are going to be saying hello to Brad Sham, who is the longtime voice of the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to be doing a little joint interview around 12:45, a little bit later on today. So be on the lookout for that. And then, of course, I want to invite you to enjoy me, to enjoy me or join me, whichever you want to do. 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, Sunday Night Football. Join me on YouTube as we dive into the most aggressive, because it starts in the game, post-game show you're going to find anywhere on Planet Football, and I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully you are too. And then Monday, Larry and I will be wrapping around with a little 49ers wake-up for you, so here we go. Here we go. Head coaches really come in two different flavors. There's the stubborn in my ways, want to do it my way, I've got my system style of head coach. And then there's the more, all right, let me look around the locker room, see what I got in terms of what I got to work with, and then we'll tailor a system around that. Now, obviously, great coaches can pull a little from column A and a little from column B, right? But Kyle is definitely the former and not the latter. Kyle has a system. Kyle Shanahan knows what he wants to do. It's the way his dad taught him to go about winning football games. He's had enough evidence returned to him that this way of going about winning football games wins an awful lot of football games. So that's what I'm going to do. That's who I am. That's what I want to be. And Kyle is that guy. He's got a style. He seeks players to fit his style or his system. And he's not the kind of guy who, really wants to know what all players can do well, and then I'm going to tailor what we do around your strengths and weaknesses. No, he wants guys who do what he deems needs done. He wants players who fit his idea, players who fit his system. Now, that would never preclude Kyle from adding like an all-world talent, because all-world you would think would be the kind of talent that would fit this system. But here we are once again in a debate about Brock Purdy. I see my pal Nick Wright talking about this. There's a lot being bandied about in some Ringer interview where someone said he's the 25th best quarterback in the league. Like, whatever. All I can tell you is that these people who are talking about these things don't matter nearly as much as the data points of this guy can play that, NFL football games are returning to us. Like, your opinion no longer matters once that final score's up on that scoreboard, right? Like, what you thought of Brock Purdy, what you think of where he was drafted, what you think a prototype franchise quarterback might be, it really doesn't matter what you think when you're having a level of success that is undeniable. And Brock Purdy's level of success is apparently the only thing that is undeniable about him, because everyone wants to debate everything else. Brock is a system quarterback. Okay? Well, technically all quarterbacks are in a system, so you could make that lazy argument for everyone. But the whole point isn't that Brock is a system quarterback. The point is that Brock is in a system that allows him to leash an ungodly amount of holy hell on the NFL. Like, that's what's important. The whole concept of a guy fitting a system being used as a demerit against the guy's talent, like, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I guess these are the talking points that come about when you need to fill 24 hours a day of content. Like, I can't understand it. What if I told you that running backs always look good in Kyle's system? Well, how is that a demerit for what Christian McCaffrey is doing? And I've seen that used, trying to explain why, like if we're really having a serious MVP debate, Christian McCaffrey can't be in it because he just is the best running back to ever fit into Kyle's system. So you want to hold the guy's offense that he's perfectly born to play in against him as you're evaluating some postseason award that, again, the fact that you're trying to evaluate who's the clubhouse leader for a postseason award 4 weeks into the year means you are lazy as a journalist. Like, there are actual things to talk about so early on here in this NFL season that if you got to invent the shit to talk about, man, you must not have an awful lot of knowledge of what you're looking at. And I just see that over and over and over again. How is a system that works bad for a player who fits the system better than the other players who were brought in to fit the system but didn't work nearly as well as this? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't think anyone can really explain it to me. This guy has a formula. The formula works. The formula wins. So now you want to go away from that formula in the name of, well, let's get more athletes in here? What? I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyways, I see an awful lot of friendly, happy people and happy chatters already chatting with each other. By the way, let me just tell you too here. We're done with AMP. I'm not doing it today. I'm not going to continue to invite people to go to another place if that place is getting shut down. So I'm sorry that Funk Week got cut short, but we're done. If they're dropping the system, I'm not going to keep on going over there. So that sucks, but it's the reality that we're kind of sitting in. I don't like it, but that's the way I got to go about it. I got to quit AMP cold turkey, apparently. So we're not going to have a last month. I'm not going to continue to bait people to download something that's going to go away. So sorry, everyone. The other request that I do have is that if you are feeling in that generous super chatting mood, well, first of all, thank you so much. There's never a wrong time to give a super chat. But I will say there is a better time to do it, and that's when we slip into Club Plus. Now, Club Plus might not have its VIP room anymore, but we're still going to have a Club Plus, and that's the best time to do it because that way I won't miss it. It won't go by me while I'm not looking at the chat because I'm trying to host a show and trying to read what you're writing on the chat would distract me. You're also funny and clever and interesting. I'm like the dog in Up. Squirrel! I gotta keep my eyes off the chat, so I don't even have it up during like this portion of the show for the most part. So if you're looking to gift your friendly host with some support and support this channel with a super chat, wait until Club Plus to do it because that way I won't miss it. Stacy, we saw you yesterday. Thank you very much. It's got to wait. That needs a little bit more time. Just a little bit more time before that's ready. Let that cool down just a little bit more. How do you go about beating the Dallas Cowboys? All right, let's hop right into it. Run the system. How about that? This is, everyone wants to tell you that the system, I don't know about the system. Well, run the system because the system works. And the system usually takes care of the afternoon. And these are not foreign concepts. These are pretty old school football concepts. And it's amazing how Kyle's system is built around the shit that has been winning football games since the sport dawned. Run the ball, don't turn it over, make the right choices, avoid negative plays while playing in front of a stout defense. Like, that's pretty rudimentary stuff, but it works. The simple stuff works. And as sophisticated as Kyle's patterns and route choices are, it's all pretty simple when you look at it. When the Niners are at their best, they're playing a simple style of football. Get a lead, grow a lead, sit on lead, win game. That's what Kyle wants to do. How does he go about doing that against the Dallas Cowboys? Well, number one, the two biggest offensive concerns, not the quarterback, obviously. The two biggest offensive concerns are clearly Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb. So keeping an eye on Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb at all times is job one all afternoon, or I should say evening since it's Sunday Night Football, for the 49ers defense. Where are those two guys? How's Dak getting the ball to them? Getting a feel for Dak in this game early on is also, I think, important. Is he just that straight up three-step drop and it's out guy, which is the new religion every offense has found to slow down sack machine defensive lines? So is that the way that they're playing? And if they are, don't get caught kind of watching the paint dry on that like they did in the LA Rams game, where they basically let the Rams do what they want to do for an entire half before they went ahead and started doing something a little differently in the third quarter, which changed that game dramatically. Again, these are not unique or original concepts. Process the game as it's happening in front of you. Adjust to the game that's in front of you. So watching what Dak is doing early on is where Steve Wilks' eyes have to be, and his eyes need to be all over CeeDee Lamb. Now, CeeDee Lamb, I saw this from Akash Anavarantian. He lines up in the slot 68% of the time. So that means Isaiah Oliver, Diamador Lenore, this is on you guys. Because I really do think that even though Fred Warner is so special, he can run stride for stride with some slot receivers. CeeDee Lamb feels like the first official. That's a bad matchup for Fred Warner in a pattern that we're going to see. So Diamador Lenore and Isaiah Oliver, if they both play well against CeeDee Lamb in the slot, it goes a long, long way to bringing the 49ers to the finish line with a win. Defensively, Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Already talked about CD. But DeMarcus is a beast on that line. The Cowboys are incredibly physical, and we're looking at Micah Parsons, who could be coming from anywhere. Identifying where he is before every snap is job one for Brock Purdy, because that guy, again, lines up everywhere. Everywhere. So you got to know where he is at all times and be careful with the ball and don't let him have game-changing play after game-changing play. He really is that talented of a player. So you keep Lawrence and Parsons to normal defensive afternoons. Don't let the extraordinary happen for the Cowboys defensively. You slow down Pollard. You keep an eye on CeeDee Lamb. And this should be a 49ers win. This should be a 49ers win. I like them. I think I like them to cover the 3.5. Is that it too? I like the 49ers in this game. I think you do too. I think you're a 49er fan. That's why you're here. And I think you're feeling pretty good about it. But there are reasons, not just hunches, to feel good about it. When Kyle's got ownage over certain teams and certain coaches, that's a tough trend to break. So we will see. We will see if Mike McCarthy can have a great day against Kyle Shanahan. There have not been many of them. I want you to have a great lunch today. I do. Get yourself to Ike's, boys and girls. Ike's has delicious sandwiches. Try a Damon Bruce. Get a Jamie Sirewich. Have an Adam Richmond. Get a Menage a Trois. Get a Matt Cain. There are so many great sandwiches at Ike's. If I had to select my favorite, I couldn't. And one of them even has my name on it. So that's how good it is. You probably already know this for yourself because you are from the Bay, you're around California, and Ike's has got 100 of these stores open now on the West Coast, nearly 100. Get yourself to Ike's, have one delivered to you, sign up for his app, start earning Ike's rewards, and eat your way to free sandwiches. Does that sound good? The only thing better than free sandwiches would be the concept of free money. And that's what is waiting for you if you are subscribing to bottomlinebets.com. My man, Stefan, he won last night. He had his placement on the Bears team total. That bad boy was basically done by the end of the first half. So Stephen is getting just ridiculous hunches, data, winning, gut feel. I don't know what it is, but my man is, it's ridiculous. Stop taking my word for it. You can get a free day of handicapping. A free day of handicapping at Bottom Line Bets by using promo code Damon. You have a few more days to use this. You have through the NFL weekend to use this. You want to save it for a big Saturday slate that has college and playoff baseball going on. You want to reserve it for Sunday. That's fine. But use it this weekend. Promo code Damon, bottomlinebets.com. It's time for you to start winning. There is money just sitting there, and you can pick it up with my man Stephen's advice at bottomlinebets.com. And speaking of you can pick it up, you can pick up some of the coolest vintage Bay Area and sports t-shirts you're ever going to find at Jack's in San Francisco. Jack's is on Chestnut Street. That's where I picked up this. I love the Sutro Tower t-shirt. Come on, you know me. It's part of the show's logo, for goodness sakes. There it is. Oh, no, wait. There it is right there. See the little Sutro Tower get knocked over by Godzilla? I got to learn how to. I would be a terrible weatherman. I'm bad on the green screen. There you go. This right here. This. There we go. Now I'm officially doing. Oh, you got to mirror everything. This. Go to jacksanfrancisco.com. Or excuse me, that's jacksf.com. 2 S's, JACKS. sf.com. And once you find the 15 t-shirts that you're going to want to buy, put them all in your cart and use promo code DamonBruce10 for 10% off your Jack's purchase. So there you go. A free weekend of handicapping using promo code Damon at Bottom Line Bets. 10% off your vintage, cool Bay Area sports t-shirts and other things, special, unique to Jack's designs. Damon Bruce 10 for 10% off over there. And don't tell anyone we never did nothing for you. By the way, it is a Friday, and which means we'll have a good for ball, bad for ball brought to you by our friends at Uncle Boys coming up. But that is at the end of the show, so we will get back there in just a minute. Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk is the only man in that 49ers locker room who can honestly claim, I might be as dangerous as Christian McCaffrey for other teams. I saw this. Brandon Aiyuk has 17 catches so far this season. That's 17 catches over 3 games. Remember, he missed 1 game already this year. So 17 catches, and each of them has resulted in either a first down or a touchdown. That's remarkable. That's unbelievable. Brandon Aiyuk is a first down or a touchdown every single time he has caught the ball so far this year. No wonder why Brock Purdy, that system quarterback, continues to look for a wide receiver who, fits this system perfectly. I can't wait till we accuse Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk of being system wide receivers. And George Kittle is a system tight end. It's just, we throw that word system in front of things that we said might not work, and now they are, so I need to excuse why I was wrong about it. Well, system guy. Kind of crazy. There we go. That's a sip of the day right there. Oh, almost 20 minutes in. Maybe the over hit today. I don't know. Hey, the Chicago Bears won a football game last night. Did you see that?
Maximum!
Oh, my God. All I can tell you is that actually will help Dick Butkus rest in peace, and rest in peace to Dick Butkus, one of the great football players of all time, one of the 3 greatest Chicago Bears of all time, and a guy who has so many good, Miller Lite commercials that when Dick Butkus passed away, my timeline started having all these old Dick Butkus commercials get splattered all over it. And that was a nice walk down memory lane. Dick Butkus going from first bad boy NFL guy to beloved Hollywood, not a character actor. He basically played Dick Butkus. but he was very personable. Dick Butkus had a great personality. So rest in peace, and I'm glad that the Bears decided to win their first game of the year on the day that he died. Way to honor the man's memory. And look, Justin Fields has played well the last 2 weeks. Notice that these are the 2 weeks that Chase Claypool's been banned from this facility. It's a little weird, right? The Bears flipped a second rounder to Pittsburgh for the wide receiver who turned out to be a massive bust for them, and they just flipped him to the Miami Dolphins for a 6th-round pick swap. Hey, whenever you can turn a second-round pick into a 6th-round pick swap, you do it. God. Again, congratulations to Justin Fields having a couple of good games in a row. Congratulations to the Bears on winning their first game. Everyone should be fired. Maybe not Fields, but everybody else. Ryan Poles, who did this Chase Claypool deal. Come on, man. Come on. By the way, DJ Moore last night. If you started DJ Moore in your fantasy league, chances are you're going to win your fantasy league this week. DJ Moore had the greatest game any Bears wide receiver has had in my lifetime. He's the first Bears player with 200 yards and 3 touchdowns from scrimmage in a game since Walter Payton in 1979. First player, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns since 1979. That is how inept the Chicago Bears have been offensively for my lifetime. So congratulations to DJ Moore. He really was great last night, and that game was more entertaining than anyone thought it would be. I guess the other story in the Bay Area yesterday was the story that the WNBA is coming to San Francisco. Now, if you ever told me that we'd be having a WNBA story snuck into a Friday show during Cowboys week, I was probably not, but this is kind of interesting because anyone else doing this, I would be skeptical about it. But Joe Lacob is a force to be reckoned with as an owner, full stop. So maybe this works. Maybe this indeed will work. Obviously, the WNBA is catching on in ways that have a lot of positive, audience returns, ratings attached to it for the first time in its existence. It's a growing sport. There is no doubt. I will also let you know that as someone who spent 20 years taking phone calls from sports fans, not a single sports fan I've ever met has bought a ticket to a WNBA game or admits to watching or being a fan of any WNBA team. I'm not trying to diminish the WNBA. I'm just saying I have never actually met anyone who is very excited about it, buys tickets, consumes the product. But it's happening. You can't deny the fact that it's happening. So the main question is, what will the WNBA team in the Bay Area do from a business or interest standpoint right after all of that initial excitement is gone? And that's where a WNBA team at Chase Center could be in a little bit of trouble. It's got to be a much less expensive entry point into Chase Center. So it's going to be a less expensive ticket, you would assume. And maybe it's going to get more people in there. It's certainly going to give Chase Center more nights a year to put a crowd in there. And the Warriors, they're printing their own money since they own Chase Center. How is this city going to embrace it? How will this city honestly embrace the WNBA when it goes from being an easy to root for concept that you would support to now I'm actually asking you to spend your money and give up your free time on a Wednesday night after you've been working to see the Bay Area, whatever they're going to be names, San Francisco, whoever's, Golden State, whoever's, if they're going to use that moniker, whatever the mascot is going to be. Like, did you just talk about how you support the NBA, or are you actually going to put your money down and your time aside to go do it on a Wednesday night when the ladies of the Bay are taking on the Las Vegas Aces? I think that's a WNBA team, right? Doesn't Mark Davis own them? So the entire time I have been here, but for, a moment of two of done scoring and the Sharks resonating in the Bay Area. This city is 49ers, Giants, Warriors, nothing else. Not even Cal, not even Stanford, not even there's a team from up in Marin who's going to the Little League World Series. Do you want to hop on that bandwagon? No. Rather talk about the Giants, the Niners, or Warriors. You can roll a golf major through San Francisco. You can put a major at the Olympic Club. That doesn't even really crack the conversation. It's 49ers, Giants, and Warriors, nothing else. So how would a WNBA team really penetrate the interest? I don't know. But what I do know is that there are way too many powerful hands and there are big dollars attached to this. And look, owning teams is a really good investment if you can afford to do so. It's just real simple. Owning teams is a good investment if you can afford to do so, unless it's like an XFL or USFL team that was built to fail on but I thought that the MLS, Major League Soccer, was going to be built to fail. They're asking for a lot of money for those franchises now. WNBA franchises are worth something. So they're worth something to the rich people who are investing in it and have the means to keep this money train going, keep this investment going. So butts in seats translating to a team success probably means less now than ever before. But Joe Lacob continues to grow the empire. And it's been a pretty successful empire since he's laid his hands on it. I'm not going to go betting against Joe Lacob, and you probably shouldn't either. It will be interesting to see what they're going to name that team, right? That's fun. Come up with a WNBA team that is perfect for the Bay Area. Are they going to go with San Francisco? Are they going to go with the Bay Area? Are they going to try to Golden State the situation? Like the Warriors, how are they going to try to make it an all-encompassing, we're all for you, San Jose, Oakland, everyone? It'll be interesting to see what they come up with. There's a lot of work to be done. What they are going to expand in 2025, there'll be a WNBA team at Chase Center. Good luck. I can't imagine myself going. I can't. I'm sorry. Look, I'm not interested in women's basketball. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. I shouldn't have to apologize for that. I've never watched the sport. I don't have a daughter. I don't have a friend's daughter who watches it. I'm just not into girls basketball, women's basketball, ladies basketball. I pay attention to way too many other sports to have another project that I also kind of pay a little attention to. I got to say, I'm into this. I'm not into that. I'm not into that. Sorry. I'm into men's basketball. Does that make you a bad person, Damon? I don't even fucking care anymore. I don't. I saw that Michael Lewis, who is the author of Moneyball, Michael Lewis wrote the Big Short, I believe, as well. Michael Lewis is a very good author. The Blind Side. He is coming up with a book about Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, and he had just happened to be researching this guy as his next book project before that guy became a global headline with the fraud that he was committing. In a conversation about Sam Bankman-Fried, Michael Lewis on 60 Minutes admitted that he knows Steph Curry was paid $35 million for 60 hours of work to shoot a couple commercials for FTX. $35 million for 60 hours of work. What's the rate on that? That ain't bad. He paid Tom Brady $55 million for 20 hours of work 3 years ago. He paid Curry $35 million for the same thing for 3 years. Now, the Warriors star is among the celebrities named in a class action lawsuit filed against FTX and its endorsers. And unlike other of the spokespeople. Curry hasn't like scrubbed the commercials he's done from his social media. They're still on there. And you know why? It's because he's not embarrassed by them. Here's the deal when it comes to endorsing products. Pay me money, I'll endorse your product. That's the deal. If you think every single time that the person who's endorsing a product either understands it or uses it or is heavily involved in its success or failure, you're out of your mind. They're just doing a commercial. And for $35 million, I'm going to tell you right now, you could probably find me doing a commercial endorsing, slapping children around. Like, I mean, what are you kidding me? For $35 million, I'll tell you about anything's good. Like, this blue cup is the single greatest blue cup that has ever been invented. It is the pioneer of all blue cup going forward. It is a callback to great blue cup technology that you used to know about. This, folks, is a blue cup that I'm going to tell you will change your life. See, I wasn't paid anything for that, and I just endorsed this blue cup. You give me $35 million, I will blow this blue cup right here on the air. You don't want that. But Steph Curry, this whole like, I'm going to sue the athlete in the commercial. Like, I don't understand that. That's like saying you bought a pair of sneakers, they're uncomfortable, you got a blister, and now you want to sue Michael Jordan? Like, how's that possible? I don't understand it. And he's not just endorsing, he is the brand. Anyway, thought that was amazing, though. Regardless of what you think about the story, $35 million for 60 hours of work. We should all be so lucky. What a charmed life Steph Curry leads. Before we slip into Club Plus today, just a couple more things here. Awful Announcing asked a very interesting question, wrote a really good, interesting article about how come no baseball on any of the debate shows that dominate morning and afternoon television on ESPN and FS1. On Tuesday, Awful Announcing pointed out that from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern, ESPN had not one discussion about the start of the baseball playoffs, minus a few ad reads. No debate, no discussion, no guests, no prediction, no matchup analysis, no talk about a starting pitcher, a manager, nothing. Nothing. Despite having exclusive rights to the wildcard series, baseball couldn't break the NFL and the NBA content blockade, writes Awful Announcing. It's amazing. There is no sport that is still financially as solvent, but has been reduced in the conversation that sports fans have as much as Major League Baseball. I'm telling you, one of the reasons why KNBR is in a lot of trouble as a station is because they still bill themselves as the Giants station. Now, they're also the flagship of the 49ers, but they'll call themselves the Giants station. And the Giants and KNBR have a long marriage. They've exchanged an awful lot of money. There's a big business arrangement there. But, you know, would you like people listening to your radio station again? Then sell the Niners, because that's what people are buying. That's what people are buying. Again, I was in the meeting in 95.7 The Game where we basically said, all right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk just basically 49ers. And while they're over there doing another No One's Listening to It segment with Susan Slesser about the Giants bullpen, they're going to come over here. They're going to hear us talking about the 49ers, and they're going to stick with us. And that's how we beat KNBR. All the time. You know, and look, I love baseball. And that wasn't a shot at Susan Slesser, who's great at it. But people are not tuned in to baseball and the machinations of a roster or a season like they used to be. And let me tell you, as someone who is now creating content, I cannot help but notice I do a video about the 49ers. I do a video about football. There's a chance that video is going to take off. There's only one video that I've done about the Giants that has ever taken off, and that was the famous 29-minute Larry Krueger all-time rant that he went on just about Giants frustrations. So people always love, you know, that. People will respond to, let me tell you why everyone should be fired. But if Larry and I did 29 minutes on just talking baseball, that thing wouldn't have gotten nearly the views that it did. I see my views not happen for baseball topics on my own channel. And I do. I still love baseball. And I can talk baseball. I'm not like Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless or Mike Greenberg or Pat McAfee. Not one of those guys knows a single thing about baseball. That's why they don't incorporate it into their shows. You know, but why are these networks that pay hundreds of millions of dollars, asks Awful Announcing, why do these networks that are in bed with the sports leagues that they refuse to talk about them when they're in bed with them as business partners? It is weird. But the answer is Awful Announcing says it's very simple. Follow the rating. Follow the rating. You know, when it went from diaries, like what did you listen to today? Well, from noon to 1 o'clock, I listened to KGO, and then I turned over to KNBR because I like Ralph Barbieri, and then at night I listen to whatever the K Fog, and people were just writing down the names of shows and channels that they liked, as they never really filled out that ratings book in real time, but just would sit down at the end of the month to sort of jot around it, send it in, and get paid for being a part of the rating service. Now they got these things called personal people meters. It's a digital fingerprint that literally tracks what radio signal is in your ear. When you tuned it on, when you tuned it off. And Matt Nahagian, the program director at 95.7 The Game, understands PPM in a deep, deep way. And, you know, he would track what conversations, what interviews, what guests did well, and we would double down on those. And the guests that didn't do well, we would do less of. One of the guests that did, again, I used to love having Susan Slesser on to talk baseball. This is when Susan was coming on to even talk A's baseball. I would still like talking to Susan because she's fantastic at what she does. It was an automatic tune-out. Me and Ray having Susan Slesser on to talk A's baseball was an automatic tune-out. We would watch our stations, you know, however many people meters were listening at the time, just go straight down, just boom. Oh, you talking Warriors? Ratings going up. Talking Niners, ratings going up. Talking A's baseball with Susan Slesser, boom. You could see it in real time. And even though these networks have big multi-million-dollar agreements, they're in it for ratings in the middle of the day. And they must know that data shows viewers change the channel or just stop watching altogether the minute you start talking baseball or hockey or anything that basically isn't football or basketball. So that's the world we're living in. Like, we even got the Mets have a general manager resigning in a little mystery and disgrace. Mets GM Billy Epler resigned on Thursday. He's being investigated for his use of a phantom injured list, where, you know, you ask a player, hey, let's put you on the injured list. Even though you're really not injured, you'll still accrue your major league service time and we won't have to lose you, but you're not playing great right now, so we want to sit you down for a little bit. It's not uncommon in baseball, but apparently somebody ratted him out. So, like, you have New York City, a GM being resigning the same week that the manager, Buck Showalter, was fired, and that is no longer just a baseball conversation. That's, you know, hirings and firings and New York City. They don't even bother bringing that up on any of these debate shows because no one gives a fuck. No one outside of Mets fans. And there are more people watching this segment right here to listen to Stephen A. Smith talk about football, which is another sport he doesn't even know very well. But to hear Stephen A. Smith talk football, you'll get 1 million people watching or a few 100,000 people watching. The minute he starts talking baseball, nobody's watching Stephen A. Smith do that. So there you go, boys and girls. We're about to hop into Club Plus. But first, as we will do every Friday, we won't be going into the VIP lounge anymore. That was the AMP app, because AMP is being taken away from us all. But we do have a tradition that we will keep going as long as we can. The Michael Urban, Big Herbs, Good for Ball, Bad for Ball Friday show closer, as we give memory to Michael. Good for Ball. The Chicago Bears winning the day Dick Butkus died. That's good for ball. Even Packers fans are happy about that. So that's officially good for ball in the cosmos and the overall quan of the world. So that's good. That's good. And so are all the Dick Butkus commercials on my Twitter timeline. That's good. Bad for ball. And this is, Michael would want this. Bad for ball is the fact that baseball just has no more room left in our national sports conversation. It is absent. It is absent by design, because if it's present, people aren't interested. And you can talk about how baseball is doing very well financially in so many different regards. If that continues to be a trend, I don't know how it goes on working forever. Again, interest matters. It has to. So there you go. There is your Friday before Cowboys get here, Damon Bruce show. Again, I'm going to be doing something with Larry at around 12:45 in about an hour from now. So let's step into Club Plus. Remember, post Game Damon at the 2-minute warning Sunday night. Join me here on YouTube. And then Larry and I at 8 a.m. the following Monday. It is the Palmetto 49ers wake-up show with Damon Bruce and Larry Krueger. We'll be going over the 49ers game better than anyone. That's a digital revolution. That's taking over the marketplace. Thank you for being here, and please do remember, as you enjoy what I hope is a beautiful weekend, a little fleet week, some time with your family, some friends, some fun, some fellowship, have a good weekend. It's gorgeous out there here in the Bay Area, or wherever you are. Hopefully it's gorgeous there too, and we got sundress conditions for everybody. Sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Disco face. Here we go. Turn the light off. Make it sexy. Yeah. Yeah. You feeling it? You feeling pretty? You feeling good? Let's hop into it. What do we got here? The Aces in Las Vegas get some attention, but attendance isn't great even for playoff games. Hopefully they'll be a success in the Bay. That's from Nathaniel Richards. Look, I mean, I guarantee you that Joe Lacob has got really smart people looking at the financials on this, and they're all pointing, Joe, do it. Your investment can't go wrong. Whether the people show up to support it or not, your investment in the WNBA as it continues to grow cannot go wrong. Aaron Rivera says, Damon, the city will probably embrace WNBA teams the way that they embrace the SF Bulls or the SF Demons. You could be right. Again, San Francisco doesn't do minor leagues, and I guess that's an insult to the WNBA, but that's just not, it ain't the big boys, and San Francisco isn't attracted to anything other than the big boys. There's no other fringe good idea. I don't know. Mike Antics 19 says the Bay would be the best supporters of the WNBA. Now, I'm just going to say, if you're drawing a straight line from, that's kind of a funny way to put it, a straight line when I'm about to bring up what I think you're talking about here. Are you talking about lesbians? Is that what we're talking about? Because I'm telling you, we are absolutely crawling in lesbians here in the Bay Area, but that doesn't help Stanford's women basketball attendance, nor does it help Cal women's basketball attendance. And those are two pretty good women's basketball programs, but nobody gives a shit. It's not like lesbians are like, well, there's a lot of lesbians playing. We're just going to go support them. No, that's not how it works. So I don't think that there's an automatic, oh, there's no doubt this is the right place to do it. I can't buy into any league that doesn't seem self-sustainable without being propped up financially by a big three league. Look, I guess if you are part of that league, though, like Joe Lacob, whether he wants to or not, is investing in the WNBA as an NBA owner. So he might as well then get himself a WNBA team and at least have a little equity to show for it, right? So, again, he's in. He's in whether he wants to be or not. Like the San Jose Earthquakes. They stink. Well, what I don't even know what they are or aren't, but I know that MLS team is worth something. I know that. WNBA teams are now worth something. Their ratings are worth something to the networks that continue to put this on TV. Again, there's no network out there that is so enamored with seeming modern that they would gut their own concept of having an audience just for the sake of looking good because we're going to give the ladies a place to put their game. Like there's got to be a level of rating success there. I don't meet these people. I don't know who these people are. But they're clearly there. Again, I don't know who's watching The Voice or The Masked Singer. I've never met a single person that's admitted watching to either of those, but obviously they're there and got them on TV still. Michelle Haberman says WNBA finals on Sunday at 3 o'clock. The finals? I didn't even know their season had begun. I mean, that's how little attention I pay. I know that one, the chick for the Liberty shoots pretty well. Oniescu or whatever I saw her at a WNBA All-Star game. Again, I'm seeing highlights from the WNBA All-Star game. I had no idea their season was even underway. But I'm not paying attention, but people are. And again, Joe Lacob is way too smart to be buying into something that's not going to work. Hey, Damon, what about the Warriors? I mean, honestly, that's not bad, right? The Warriors. That's pretty good. Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries. It's not bad. Nathaniel Richards says, what about the Lady Dubs? No, can't use the word lady anymore. That's insulting to the ladies, apparently. Like they took the lady off Lady Volunteers and Lady Illini, and they had to take they can't be called the Orangemen anymore in Syracuse because they didn't want to be called the Lady Orangemen. So I don't think you can use the word lady without verbally assaulting a woman in 2023. So I wouldn't do that. Damon, not the target audience. Well, here's the thing. I'm a huge basketball fan. And, you'd think that as a huge basketball fan, I might be able to be wrangled into your audience, but the league does not interest me. Sorry. Ernie Chavez says, Damon, just admit it. You're only into men. Fair enough. Damon, you think you would go if you had a daughter? Legit question. I have a baby niece, and I'm wondering if I'll end up going. Here's the thing. If you're telling me to take Jack and Ozzy to a Warriors game at Chase Center, it's going to cost me like $4,000. But to go and take them to a WNBA game for like $100, well, then, maybe my boys want to go see a little basketball and we'll go to that. I mean, again, I'm looking for, if the WNBA is offered up as an inexpensive, family-friendly alternate to walk in and watch a basketball game at Chase Center, again, it makes an awful lot of sense to me. The minute they start charging like $600 a courtside seat, there's nobody going to go to those fucking games. The Bay Sea Lionesses. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Sea Lioness? No. Sounds like you're talking about these ladies are a bunch of C minuses. No, that's not going to be it. Joking around the Sam Bankman-Fried payout for Steph Curry, Scott says Daniel Jones makes $2.5 million for every 3 hours of work. Oh. Yeah, that's something else. Sam Bruno Mike is like, damn, dude, $583,333 an hour, not bad, Steph. I mean, he's almost making as much on the basketball court. Was he got $59 million coming to him this year on the court? Speaking of athletes endorsing things, Wally Lama says, Fran Tarkenton repaired my credit. Oh, that was nice of Fran. I'm glad he helped you escape the pocket of rude creditors. I would shit my pants for $35 million. True Blue Forever for $35 million? I'd let you come over here and shit my pants. I mean, what do you... Jeez. Damon making millions to rep Purdue, boiler up. Let me tell you, one of the jobs I had in between ESPN and coming back to the Bay Area was doing pregame for Purdue Boilermakers football. And I always used to say they need to bring a Hoosier in here to do this. But I have cashed checks from Purdue. I have. I took the money. I needed it at the time. I took the gig. I needed the on-air reps. I took the opportunity. So there you go. So yeah, for millions of dollars, I'll even wear a jersey for you for a minute there. Better be like a Glenn Big Dog Robinson jersey though. None of these new guys. And this is the honest to God's truth right here. When's the last time do you think Steph Curry, Patrick Mahomes, or Tom Brady ate a Subway sandwich? Not never. Not. Well, how about this? Here's a really good way to put it. Dez for Prez says Steph probably hasn't eaten a Subway sandwich since college. Exactly. Dude, Tom Brady will tell you he doesn't put food like this in his mouth. And then he'll do a commercial saying, come put food like this in your mouth. So it's just, I don't understand. I don't understand how Steph Curry needs to be part of a class action lawsuit because he did a commercial. It's nuts. The litigious nature. Otis Bird says KNBR is Giants first. Yeah, that's why they're now not the leader of shit. Yeah, if you're going to be Giants first, you're going to be rating second. Michelle is right. Subway, extraordinarily subpar. It's awful. What else we got going on here on the chat? $95.7 has better everything than KNBR right now. I'm willing to bet their bath tissue is even better. No, I have wiped my butt at both stations. Both are using the cheapest possible bathroom tissue possible. And all I can tell you right now is that KNBR has everything better than KNBR except, or 95 has everything better except me. You could have been better. You were better. So what else we got? This is a great way to put it. Leave it to Sporticus to drop the knowledge. Football interest is based on immediate gratification. Baseball interest is more like a long-term committed relationship. The divergence tells you a lot about current society. There's no doubt that you have to be in for the long haul, the long conversation, the lack of, I mean, look, if we were inventing a sport for modern times, we would never invent baseball. People do not have the attention span that baseball requires. You know, there's all sorts of little micro things to root for inside of a football game. First downs and quarterback sacks and this, that, the other thing. Baseball doesn't give you that. It's different. It's a different world that we're living in. And I also think part of the reason why, you know, it's just baseball is something that you pass down from father to son, from mother to daughter, from grandparents to grandkids. And I just don't know if family units operate like that anymore. It's just a different kind of world out there. It's also become a cost prohibitive thing to do. Like if you want to make someone a baseball fan, bring them to a baseball game. Going to a baseball game used to be like a $20 excursion. Now it's like a $300 excursion. It's way too expensive. It's way too expensive and not enough bang for your buck. I don't know what sport live in person is worth the bang of your buck. Certainly not a football game. I mean, if you're going to live football games, like I don't know why you're going. You must like crowds. You must like parking lots and tailgating, because I don't think that there's nearly the bang for the buck that there used to be. And live sporting events, like Warriors games are an awful lot of fun to be at, especially should overtime or a fourth quarter from God break out. Those are a lot of fun, but that is a very expensive proposition. E. Scott Burns, when is Ratto finally going to join you? Look at it this way. You're going to have to ask Ray. I don't know. Erwin saying, smash the like button. Thank you, Erwin. I do appreciate that very, very much. Nothing wrong with Slusser. It was just her subject matter. Well, when the subject matter was the A's, I would agree with you there. That's a hard sell. Believe me, I was on the station that tried to do it and had to give up. But if Susan Slusser is talking Giants baseball on an NFL Friday over on KNBR is officially off topic in that segment. Friday has to be wall-to-wall football. It really does. That's what people are tuning in for. That's what they want. And if you're giving them something else, they're not going to want it. Big love to herbs. Indeed. Kid Loose asks, is there any correlation to fantasy sports? Yeah, I mean, it's just another reason to be more interested in football. I think there is some correlation there. Kathy saying, good for ball for the week. The WNBA coming to the Bay Area. It's going to be good for Joe Lacob's bottom line. That's for sure. Look at this. I hope you subscribed. Kid Loose, been a fan since the 95-7 days. Appreciate your brilliance. I didn't even know we had any of that to offer, so thank you. Like if you asked me, Damon, how's your brilliance? I've been like, I don't think I got any. Brilliance? No. Little entertaining? That's what we're going for. Kid Loose, I'm glad you like it. Thank you very, very much. Like and subscribe. I thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Pino y Mamba. That's how you pronounce that. R.I.P. Cougar Rebel says, Damon, no more Whiskey Pull Fridays. No, don't go talking out of turn. First of all, Blackened might not be a sponsor this quarter, but there's the bottle right there. I mean, it's never far away. I do still love me some Blackened whiskey, whether they're sponsoring the show or not. No whiskey pull this Friday again, because I feel myself coming down. Can you hear it in my voice? Like, the last thing I want to be doing is going like, all over 49ers Cowboys post game. So I hope I'm not getting sick here. We got Fleet Week stuff. Jillian and I are supposed to go have beers with another couple tomorrow. Like, I got no time for getting sick here. So I'm just not hitting any whiskey this Friday. Damon, errors and omissions. The Bears received a 7th-round pick, not a 6th from the Dolphins. But there's some sort of pick swap in there. I don't know. Look at it this way. They got rid of Claypool for dollars on the penny. I mean, or pennies on the dollar. Obviously, it ain't good. It ain't good. So I think that's pretty much, man. We got a lot of people talking about just radio shows that they like, the old radio memories. I'm not doing that. I'm not going down that road. What else we got here? Again, my voice is just shutting down. I can feel it going. Thank you so much to Danny Golding TV. I changed my YouTube handle to rebrand my channel. Got paid, so wanted to give a super chat. Well, thank you very much, Danny. Danny, I will check out your YouTube page, man. Thank you so much. Slip a subscribe your way. Nick J, here's a name for you. Shout out Oakland. Bay Area Bippers. If you know, you know. I don't think they're going to go with that. Oh my God, lady is insulting now? Yes, the word lady is insulting. Got to worry about the non-binaries, I guess. So thank you very much for the super chat. Matthew's like, hey, I'll support women's sports through social media. I mean, I think that's where most of it's happening, to be honest with you. And it is. And look, Lacob is making a good investment in some equity that is probably going to just grow for him. And he's filling what would be, dark nights at Chase Center with reason to open Chase Center with his WNBA team. Bay Area Fog. Again, there's the Bay Area, the San Francisco Fog were a rugby team, a soccer team, might have been both. DeGaffla, Bay Area Babes, the Bay Babes. I'm going to tell you right now, there is no chance that they would go with that. All right. Sporticus says, baseball's still the best affordable family-friendly sport. Look, maybe in Arizona where you live, but there ain't nothing family-friendly or affordable about going to a Giants game. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, to me, if you're looking for where you get a little where you would get a little bang for your buck is going to minor league baseball. Kids, bring your kids to a minor league baseball game. They're going to love that. Roddy Richards says, hey, Damon, if John Fisher offered you $35 million to work for him, would you do it? Yeah, and you would too. $35 million? I got 2 kids and a wife to support. $35 million, not only will I not only would I work for John Fisher, I would crucify the 10 biggest Oakland A's fan outside of the new stadium on the day it opened, driving in the nails to their hands, just laughing my ass off. $35 million to crucify these idiots. Yeah, I got kids to feed. I got bills to pay. I mean, I'm telling you, the birth of my kids was the death of my ego. Hate to say that, but it's the truth. Aaron, as a former Odyssey employee, I didn't even know half ply was possible. Yeah, it is. And that's, Aaron. Okay, so there, I figured there's, Rivera's not the most uncommon last name. So, but this is Aaron. Aaron, the Dodgers fan. I hope Arizona sweeps you. All right. Yeah. Damon, I saw Danny DeVito and I figured those sandwiches had to be good. Damn them. Lawsuit filed. Seriously. You think Danny DeVito's crushing just Jersey Mike after Jersey Mike? No. Here's the thing. I am a guy who crushes Ike sandwich after Ike sandwich. That is at least me. I really do. Everything that I tell you that I endorse, I use. It's hard to take 4 hours out of your day and watch a baseball game. Well, Leslie, that's why they shaved all that time off, and they did a good job shaving time off. I like the new pace of play. Bring back Chris Mullen buzzcut night at Chase Center. Yeah. Absolutely. Damon, go Niners. Let Purdy do his thing. Hey, let him do his thing in a system. Let him use his thing systematically. You system quarterback that guy. Look at it this way. Call him a system quarterback if you want to, and then talk about how that system remains undefeated. And then tell me why you'd go away from that system. I mean, come on. Why did Farhan succeed in L.A. but is failing here? Well, because it wasn't his show in L.A. He was a voice in the room. He didn't have final say. Now he's up here with final say. Chef A. Thank you so much, Chef A. Little $20 to enjoy the cocktail. It's going in the ganja jar. Thank you very much, Chef A. Appreciate you so much. Do we get a little chef tip today? I tell you what, get one for us Monday, Chef A, if you don't have one ready to go for today. But I do. I got to get going. Thank you very much. And SF Fog was a rugby team. Thank you very, very much. By the way, I'm telling you that there's no chick cool enough in the WNBA to be called Bay Area Babes except my girl. Look at Jillian Bruce. My fantasy league name is SF Babes. Nice. Should tell you what they used to call her. I can't. I'm not going to share it. I can't remember, but it was a clever play on words. There it is, folks. That's your show for the day. I got to give my voice about a half an hour's rest here before I jump on with Larry Krueger, and we're going to be talking to Brad Sham, longtime voice of the Dallas Cowboys, about this game. So that's going to be simulcast on our channels. Please check that out later on, and if you can't watch it live, maybe check it out a little bit later as you get ready for Sunday Night Football, baby. It's Cowboys week. Join me at the 2-minute warning, and then again Monday morning for 49ers Wake Up with Larry. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you very much for being hold on, honey. What was the name of your fantasy team before? SF Babes. No, but what was it before that? Oh, no, I remember what it was.
The league's name is SF Babes.
Oh, so the league's name was SF Babes. Her team name is G's Nuts.
But it was Lactation Sensation.
Before that, when she was pregnant, the name of her fantasy team was Lactation Sensation. I think I gave her that one. G's Nuts and Lactation Sensation. And that's why she's my wife. That's why she's my wife. We're perfect for each other. No amp, I feel incomplete. I know, man. I know. It sucks, but I can't ask people to go to a place that eventually is about to become a dead end. So there you go. Lactation sensation. So the single best fantasy. I'm going to leave you with this. So he was a really good player at the University of Illinois, and I had a buddy of mine who went to University of Illinois, and Rashard Mendenhall was the name of the player. Rashard Mendenhall played in the NFL for a smidgen. I mean, he got a cup of coffee in the league. My buddy had the greatest fantasy football name I've ever seen. He was a big Rashard Mendenhall fan, and the name of his fantasy football team was Mendeley Rasharded. I mean, come on. Politically correct? Not at all. But clever as all get out? Hell yeah. Mendeley Rasharded. Come on. Unbelievable. So there it is, kids. That's your Friday show. Thank you very much for joining us over here. Again, 2-minute warning in the Cowboys game, Monday morning at 8 a.m. Thank you so much for being a part of whatever the hell this is. I don't know what this is, but it's fun and it's working. So I thank you, and I'll remind you that you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.